How's it going, everyone? So the PlayStation Store is running its extended play sale and its games under $20 sale. I didn't cover these two sales too in depth, so I want to take a look at some of the deals under $10 from it. We already did a video taking a look at deals under $10 from the Halloween sale, so if you want to go check that out, that's a couple of videos back. This video will not include any deals from that sale. These two sales, games under $20 and extended play, are ending this week, I believe on Wednesday or Thursday, so you want to jump on these as soon as possible. With that being said, let's get right into it and let's start things off with a couple RPGs. We got a lot of RPGs on this list, actually, now that I'm looking at it. But Kingdom Come Deliverance Royal Edition is 75% off for $9.99. This is an RPG that is starting to become a little bit forgotten about. Would I say that it was perfect? No. And I don't think it's going to be the game that everybody is going to really enjoy. It does have a layer of challenge to it. It does go for more of a realistic route, but a very good historical RPG that visually looks really good, a bit buggy at times, a very good story here, and with this Royal Edition, you do get a bunch of DLC content. Like these days, if you want to buy KCD, you don't buy the base game. The base game is not worth it because it goes for like $8 when it's on sale. Just get the Royal Edition, you'll get a bunch of additional stuff, and from an open world RPG standpoint, it's a pretty good one, and one that's a little bit more different than your typical open world RPG. Go check it out. $10 I think is a pretty good buy. Next up, Tales of Berseria, 55% off for $8.99. Obviously, you guys know I'm a big Tales of fan. I think the games are fantastic. Now, Tales of Arise is probably my favorite game in the franchise now. Maybe Abyss is a bit better, but we're talking about Berseria. Berseria was a very good one as well. One of the best main characters out of all the Tales of games. Velvet just acts as a very different than your typical JRPG character, especially because I don't know, a lot of main characters in the Tales of series follow a similar formula. Velvet's a very different type of character, and a very dark character in terms of having layers to her story. The gameplay is solid, and the rest of the cast is quite good, but Velvet, in my opinion, is definitely the star of the show when you talk about Tales of Berseria. $9 for this game is really good. I know I've been talking up Arise, and yes, at some point, definitely pick up Arise. I can understand if you don't want to pick it up for $60. For now, check out Berseria for $9. I think you'll quite enjoy it. Next up, we have Dragon's Crown Pro, 75% off for $4.99. This is a great deal. I've been seeing Dragon's Crown Pro for $5 a little bit more often, but I really think it's going to bottom out at $5. I don't see it going much cheaper, although has it been down to $3.99 now that I think about it? It may have. Whatever the case may be, $4 to $5 for Dragon's Crown Pro is an excellent deal. Of course, this is a game done by Vanillaware, who specialize in these very gorgeous 2D action platforming RPGs. They're really good, and Dragon's Crown definitely falls in line. This version, the Pro version, does upgrade the game a little bit, but still looks great, plays great, and for $5, again, a great pickup. Next up, yet another RPG, Pillars of Eternity Complete Edition, 80% off for $9.99. I played the hell out of this on PC, and the PC version is probably the ideal experience that you're going to want to go for, but if you only have a console, Pillars of Eternity works pretty well on a console as well. The Complete Edition is great because you get the base game as well as the White March expansion, both parts of that as well. And this is a game with an incredible amount of replayability just because of all the customizability, the decision-making, everything like that. Great writing in the game as well. Just had a great time with Pillars of Eternity, and I would say the first game is better than Pillars of Eternity 2, and I liked Pillars of Eternity 2, just thought the first game was at a higher level. Should note that the game is also included with PlayStation Now, so if you would prefer to go that route, that is an option as well, but $9.99 for the amount of content you're getting, that's a great value deal. Next up, Deus Ex Mankind Divided, 85% off for $4.49. Typical price for Deus Ex Mankind Divided, it's a great deal. The only issue I had with this game was really my own fault. My expectations for this game were sky high. I absolutely adored the 2011's Deus Ex Human Revolution, which this was a direct sequel of, and going into it, I was just expecting a masterclass in game development, and was it that? No, not necessarily. It faltered a little bit from a story standpoint. I think from a gameplay standpoint, it was actually just as good, if not better than Human Revolution, but the story left a bit to be desired, and I think the ending wasn't really my cup of tea, and I think there's a lot of potential with Deus Ex going forward, but man, it seems like Square Enix is so dead set making these Marvel games, and maybe they're selling really well, but man, I would love to see them go back to Deus Ex because I think this franchise has a lot of legs to it. I think there's a lot of potential here, and, you know, enough of me complaining about that. Mankind Divided is still a very good game, and you're paying $4.50 for it. I paid $60 for it, and I still thought it was a good game. Yes, a little bit disappointing to me, but I still had a great time with it. And here for $4.50, you're getting a steal of a deal. Go check it out. Next up, we have Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, 75% off for $4.99. In recent videos, I've been talking about how Walking Dead Season 1 made me cry at the end of the game. Well, Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons is another game that can make a lot of people cry. This is a game that is very, very emotional, very, very story-driven, and it's a game that is going to tug at the emotional heartstrings. From a gameplay standpoint, it works well enough, but in my opinion, you're really going into this game for like the direction, the art direction, story direction. All of those elements are done incredibly well and at an extremely high level. It's not the lengthiest game in the world, of course, but for $5, you're getting such a good game, and from, again, a story standpoint, it is so strong. And another game that is included with PlayStation Now if you would rather go that route. Next up, we have Castle Crashers Remastered, 40% off for $9. Would like to see this a little bit cheaper just because the PC version of this game is often like 75% off for $3.74, so I'd like to see, you know, the price have some parity with the PC version. Nonetheless, Castle Crashers is a game that, in my opinion, is a timeless classic. This is a game that you can go back to whenever, as long as you have a couple friends to play the game with. It is a blast. You crack open a couple beers, you get the jokes on, and there's going to be a lot of memes to go around. It's a lot of fun, and as a co-op title, it's one of my favorite games of all time. Again, just absolutely timeless, and even though it came out back in like 2010, 2011, from an art style standpoint, holds up pretty well. It's just such a charming game, and again, I wouldn't play it solo. I don't think it's great that way, but if you have a group of 4 people to play the game with, you're gonna have a blast of a time. Go check it out for $9. Next up, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Complete Edition, 80% off for $9.99. Guys, this is an obvious easy pick 'em. Now, we know that we're not going to get that PlayStation 5 upgrade until Q2 of 2022. Yes, that's a bummer. The game is still excellent, and I would highly recommend you to pick it up. If you don't have a PlayStation 5, just go ahead and start playing it on the PlayStation 4 if you don't plan on getting a PS5 anytime soon. If you have a PS5, I'd recommend you to go buy it, but I think it might be advantageous for you to just wait until that upgrade comes out, because, baby, I think that upgrade's going to be really strong. I think you're going to get a higher frame rate. I think you're going to get some amazing visuals out of that upgrade, just because I played the game on a high-end PC and it was phenomenal on said PC. And while I like the PlayStation 4 version, the discrepancy was obvious, and I think the PlayStation 5 is going to close that gap quite a bit, at least the PlayStation 5 upgrade. Either way, the game is tremendous, and I just recommend you to play it whichever way you want, but if you want the definitive experience on consoles, that's going to come sometime next year. South Park: The Stick of Truth, 67% off for $9.89. Another game I often talk highly about. Now, this came out back in 2013, and at this point, I wasn't like super in the know about what the great studios were and everything like that. So I wasn't aware that the level of high-quality games that Obsidian Games was putting out. So when I heard about South Park: The Stick of Truth, I was like, a turn-based RPG, that's a South Park game. Yeah, that's going to be the biggest flop of all time, and it was far from that. Now, bear in mind, I'm not a South Park fan either. Don't have anything against it, just don't watch much of it. And this game completely won me over right out of the gate. Now, the humor completely got me. I love the humor in this game, and I'm sure if you're a South Park fan, it's going to hit home with you as well. And then mechanically, it's just a really good RPG. I was not expecting it to be just a competent and well-made RPG, but that is exactly what you got. You couple in good RPG mechanics with the humor that South Park fans, I'm sure, are aware of and used to. What you get is a great RPG, and for $9.89, I think this is a great pickup. Go check it out. Lastly, Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor Game of the Year Edition, 75% off for $4.99. This game came out back in 2014, and to a lot of people, it was the first truly great next-generation title, even though it did release on the 360 and PS3, but we don't like to talk about that version. Shadow of Mordor is a great game. I think Shadow of War is a better game, but Shadow of Mordor still holds up incredibly strongly. Game of the Year Edition has some additional content, and from an open-world game design standpoint, pretty well done. It's not a gargantuan open world, but it's big enough where you can tell, yeah, there's a healthy amount of content here. Combat is excellent, very responsive, very satisfying. Gruesome when it needs to be gruesome, and has a good bit of content that it's going to keep you engaged for a while, and $5 is a solid deal on that. And that's going to do it for me. Again, these two sales are ending, I think, Thursday morning. When these two sales end, I expect 2 new sales to cycle in, so it's just going to be non-stop with these sales. But yeah, links to everything will be in the description box below. As always, guys, thank you for watching. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.